Hey, everybody. Okay, so good news. I figured out how to untoggle my second name. So you don't have to look at my Instagram handle the entire time because that's kind of annoying. But I did want to pop it up if you want to follow me over on Instagram because I am trying to reach a huge goal this month. By the end of the month, I am trying to reach 1,000 followers and I am currently at 590. So if you don't follow me over there, I would so appreciate if you would come check it out. I am doing an IG live every day in October for goal setting for fourth quarter. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to find out more about how I plan my goals for the quarter, I would love for you to join us over there. You can definitely DM me any questions. I have saved everything in a series on IGTV. So if you're just now hearing about this, you're only 2 days in, so no big deal. You can go catch up. But definitely there is a process that I follow. So you want to make sure that you're checking out those videos if you want to join us. So today's live stream, I am going to talk about episode 8 that just launched on my podcast. So if you didn't know, I have a podcast called Scale Your Small Business. It's on all the podcast apps, I guess is the best way to say it, iTunes, Stitcher, all those sorts of good ones. I think we also just recently got approved for Amazon too. So we're on all of them basically. But you can always go to my website too and check those out. I do post the audio as well as the transcription. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can definitely check it out there. But episode 8 was all about planning. So I talked about paper planning. I talked about digital planning. I use both, and I think that's totally okay. There are some people that are committed to paper planning, and there's other people that are committed to only digital planning. I think if you use one or the other or a combination of both, it's still awesome. It's definitely whatever works for you. So you want to make sure that you find a system that works. I think that's the thing that people forget is we watch all these videos, especially on YouTube. If you're part of the planner community, there is a ton of different systems, different ways to do everything, stickers, no stickers, what's color coding. There's so much and it can be totally overwhelming. And if you have hung out with me for any length of time, you know that I love to talk about helping people get out of overwhelm. That is my mission in life because once you get out of overwhelm, literally the sky's the limit. You can literally accomplish anything once you get out of overwhelm. And when you feel yourself start slipping back into overwhelm, it's really easy to pull yourself out because you have a system to help you with that. So just wanted to talk really quick about a couple key takeaways. I have my notes too. So if you wonder why I'm looking down, I'm just looking at some things that I wanted to mention. So having that paper planner, I love it. I have a planner that I carry around with me. I call it my brain. It's where I jot everything down. So many, many moons ago, when I was not very prepared, I would write stuff on random sticky notes, the back of an envelope, any piece of paper. If somebody was talking to me and I was like, oh, dang, I better write that down. So I'd scribble it on the back of a piece of paper. Then I would shred that piece of paper thinking that I had done everything on it because I was just looking at the front. But when I flipped it over to the back, I was like, snap, that was that thing I was looking for. So by keeping everything in one notebook, one planner, even if you do it in the notes app on your phone, if you do Dragon, so that's the system where you can speak into it. I know Apple has a voice memo function, which I think is very similar to Dragon. I use either rev.com. That's something where I can record audio and then it emails it to me. So if I'm in a situation, if I'm in the car or something like that where I can't jot something down, that's an option too. Whatever you do it, however you do it, paper, digital, whatever works better for you, you just have to get in the habit of doing that. Making Google Calendar your friend. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that use the Microsoft suite. I'm not a fan because I think it is not as customizable as Google Calendar. But again, whatever works for you, whatever systems, whatever business you're using, if you already have it set up, great. You just have to be using it. I love a good color code. So there is a podcast episode. I think it's one of the first couple ones where I talk about my color coding system. I know that there is also an Instagram series in my highlight bubble that talks about the color coding that I created. So if that's something that you're interested in finding out more about, you can definitely check that out. Also, too, communicating with the people around you what your schedule is. So if you're going to share a schedule with a spouse, a partner, a loved one, someone that you live with, if it's an assistant, I mean, it's funny to me that not everybody shares their calendar. Like, it's one thing to share it with your clients because I know that can be a little unnerving when you are like, "Hey, here's access to my calendar. Jump on, schedule whenever you like." And there's a system that I can talk more about if you're interested at some point in time is how you schedule that out so you're guiding people of when to schedule themselves versus just a free for all when you're like, "Dang, I was going to go get a massage at that time. Now what am I going to do because I have to go do this appointment?" So there's a little bit of finesse that we can work through if that's something that you're interested. But again, communicating, sitting down with that person that you're sharing your calendar with and saying, "Hey, this is what I have going on. What do you have going on?" So we can kind of try to make it work for both people. I think communication is key in any relationship, whether that's a business relationship, a personal relationship, and making sure that you have access to each other's calendar and know what's going on helps everybody plan better, especially when we're in coronavirus and a lot of us are still stuck at home. That would be me. So we're still under lockdown here in Washington. So we're sharing this space together where all my equipment is at. I moved it from my office back home so I could take care of everything here, make it that much simpler. So those are just some key highlights from episode 8. I did get a question about Calendly. So that is the scheduling software that we use. So it's basically so we used Appointment Core, we've used Calendly. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. Here's the great thing about Calendly is that it coordinates with Google. Well, Google Calendar actually. But that's the main thing. When you're investigating software of try to get yourself organized, if you're thinking about allowing people to schedule themselves, you have to make sure that it works with all your calendars. Because if you have Outlook and 3 out of the 5 things that you're going to use work with Outlook, but the rest of them don't, that's not the right option. Because you want to be available to people, you want to meet people where they're at and allow them to schedule themselves, give them the power to reschedule, cancel, things like that. I'm always surprised when I look at my calendar and then the next day I'll get a message from somebody that said, "Hey, I wasn't able to make that, but I got it taken care of. I rescheduled myself." I mean, it's a glorious thing. So I don't want to ramble on for too long. You know that I like to keep things short and sweet and actionable. So if you have any questions, make sure that you send me an email, shoot me a DM, check me out on Instagram for sure. Leave a comment on this video and I will definitely follow up with that on our next episode or shoot you a response back. I hope you have a great Friday. I'll talk to you soon.